Hello everyone, welcome to Judicial Academy, the issue of the founder of Judicial. Today we're going to talk about the recent judgments for the month of January 2020. And for that, there are a lot of judgments that we have divided those judgments into three categories, specifically two, but we're going to talk about another one category for particularly CLAT PG exam. So the first category that I'm going to talk about, the most important judgment. We are going to go a little bit in depth of those judgments. And the second category that I'm going to talk about, the not so important judgment. And the third category, what are the important topics that we are getting from the month of January 2020. So these three different columns that we're going to divide in this whole video, we're going to talk about that. And in this part, we are going to talk about the three major judgments of in month of January 2020. Because this video is quite lengthy actually, so that's why we had to break it down. And these three major judgments that we're going to discuss in this part of the video, and in the next part we're going to talk about another two important judgment and also the other not so important judgment, and side by side the important topics for your subjective part. So let's start the video. So let's talk about the first judgment, that is Anuradha Bhasin versus Union of India. This judgment I have talked in the 9 important criminal law topics. This is very important judgment and you should read this judgment. So if you haven't checked that video, kindly go check that video of the criminal law important topics. I have talked about the 9 important essay topics regarding the criminal law. So without delaying further, let's talk about the Anuradha Bhasin judgment. So Anuradha Bhasin judgment is very important, related to the internet shutdowns, freedom of speech and expression over the internet, freedom of trade and commerce over the internet, and also the over usage of section 144 of the CRPC. All those issues were discussed in this particular case. Okay, that's why this case is very important. And we are going to talk about the first fact. So facts में क्या हुआ था कि executive editor of Kashmir Times Daily, that is Anuradha Bhasin, she approached the Supreme Court regarding prohibitions regarding the internet, media and other kind of provision that were going on due to the abrogation of special status of Jammu Kashmir on August 5th. So for that reason सब कुछ बंद था, and even the Kashmir has recorded 150 days longest internet shutdown record. वो कश्मीर के पास ही है, ठीक है. It is in the world, in any democracy, it is the longest internet shutdown. Now talking about that, now Anuradha Bhasin has approached the Supreme Court because of several fundamental rights breached, like freedom of speech and expression, freedom of trade and commerce. But the Supreme Court has said a lot of interesting aspects regarding this speech and expression and freedom of trade and commerce, and Supreme Court basically focused on the doctrine of proportionality in this judgment. So what is doctrine of proportionality? We have to discuss it first to understand the issues and the arguments and the concept. Okay, so doctrine of proportionality is a concept that can be used in the criminal law as well, where the punishment cannot be greater than the offense committed. It can be said in that fashion. Also, there must be a balance between the rights and the restrictions. That one way you can say it. And also there is another way. आप इस हिसाब से बोल सकते हो, the means that are used by the administrative authorities to obtain particular objective should not be more restrictive than that are required to achieve it. Okay, so that is called the doctrine of proportionality. Now doctrine of proportionality यहाँ पर Supreme Court use किया है regarding the internet shutdown argument, and also side by side section 144. So first talk about the internet shutdown. Now regarding the internet shutdown, as I talked about that 150 days लगातार internet shutdown चला था कश्मीर में. So regarding that, Supreme Court बोला कि internet shutdown cannot be of indefinite period. It must be temporary in nature under the temporary suspension of telecom services rules. क्योंकि now internet is so vital part of our life, your daily life, that it cannot be avoided, because in our daily freedom of speech and expression and daily freedom trade and commerce, everything, and side by side in different social media platforms, internet is very vital, and without the internet our fundamental rights or our rights will be breached. We cannot express ourselves fully. So that's why internet shutdown must be temporary, and whatever the internet shutdown reasons might be under the temporary suspension of telecom services rules that must be reasonable, and it has a proper reason for this suspension, and that particular internet shutdown order is amenable to judicial review definitely, and side by side that must follow the doctrine of proportionality कि आप indefinite wait तक तो नहीं लगा सकते, that's true, and second thing आप जिस रीजन के कारण इंटरनेट शटडाउन लगा रहे हैं दैट मस्ट बी प्रोपोर्शनेट to the reason. It's because of the public emergency, it's because of the law and order, but there would be sufficient reason behind the internet shutdown. So this is the first issue that was dealt by the Supreme Court. Now regarding the second and third, it was very clear, as you know it, now the internet so booming and freedom of speech and expression over the medium of internet that we are expressing every day. We are using different kind of social media platforms, and we are trying to do a lot of online businesses. So that's why freedom of trade and commerce over the medium of internet and freedom of speech and expression over the internet that are protected by article 19(1)(a) and article 19(1)(g) respectively due to the globalization and digitization. So that Supreme Court has observed in this particular case. Okay, freedom of speech and expression over the medium of internet is protected under article 19(1)(a). Now let's talk about the fourth issue. Fourth issue is also very important, and regarding this issue I mentioned the criminal law essay topics. इसी के बारे में बोला था मैं, section 144 of the CRPC. And now, as you know that in the past recent years 144 के अंदर बहुत order दिए जा रहे हैं, and that's why this issue has come up to the Supreme Court. The executives are actually abusing the power under the section 144 of CRPC, and here Supreme Court also used the doctrine of proportionality, and Supreme Court says the magistrate whenever issuing any order under section 144 of the CRPC must have a clear reasoning, or everything must be mentioned why that order is getting issued, and that order is also amenable to judicial review, and side by side there must be balancing of rights and restrictions. आप किस लिए कर रहे हो और क्यों कर रहे हो इसका रीजन होना चाहिए, and Supreme Court has gone to express that excessive use of the section 144 actually curbing the legitimate expression of public opinion. You are curbing the expression in such a way, you are curbing one kind of expression of the people by using excessive use of 144. So that's how this 144 and CRPC is very important topic, and I talked a lot about it. Please do give it a reading regarding the Anuradha Bhasin judgment. It's very important judgment. Okay, so these are the four issues have been discussed. Now talking about the another important judgment, let's delve into that. That is a Shilpa Mittal versus State of Delhi. Now you might be asking, sir, this is about the Juvenile Justice Act. Why this is important? Because as you know, any recent event is important, recent judgment is important, as the Nirbhaya convicts, one of the Nirbhaya convicts is juvenility has been discussed by the Supreme Court recently, and also the Juvenile Justice Act is of 2015. It was not that old act. Okay, so we have to consider this case, and this case is not the typical Anuradha Bhasin or very difficult like Anuradha Bhasin that we have to go through. It's a very simple case. In this case basically क्या हुआ कि एक juvenile ran over one guy, and that juvenile was booked under section 304 IPC, and उसमें maximum punishment था 10 साल. Now problem कहाँ पर arise हुआ कि Juvenile Justice Act 2015 में there are three kind of offences mentioned. One is petty offences जिसके लिए punishment 3 साल का होता है. Those offences are called the petty offences, and the other offences are serious offences जिसमें punishment for the offence 3 to 7 years, and heinous offences minimum punishment of 7 years. Now section 304 IPC में maximum punishment of 10 years की बात किया जा रहा है. कोई minimum punishment of 7 years mention नहीं है. There is no minimum punishment mentioned in the section 304, and that's why this particular question
came up to the court कि section 304 में जो punishment है is what kind of offense is this? Is it heinous offense or serious offense? क्योंकि यहाँ पर मैक्सिमम 10 years ऑफ पनिशमेंट के बारे में बोला जा रहा है, नॉट द मिनिमम 7 years जो दैट इज मेंशन इन द जेजे एक्ट 2015. नाउ रिगार्डिंग द सुप्रीम कोर्ट बोला है कि देयर इज ए lacuna in the legislation and the legislature has to take care of it. We are not the legislatures to legislate regarding that, but the advocate on the appellant side are rightly pointing out this particular thing that there are fourth category of offenses जो should be demarcated in this particular JJ Act. But nonetheless, as we talk about the Juvenile Justice Act and the nature of the act, it's protecting the child in conflict with the law, or it's in favor of the child of the law. So that's why we are taking this issue, the maximum punishment of 10 years, as the serious offense, not the heinous offense. So that's why they are saying in section 304 of the IPC में जो juvenile that was booked, that should be come under the serious offense. Now why these particular three offenses have been divided in the Juvenile Justice Act is basically is the reason that there are separate procedure have been demarcated, or detailed procedure have been given in the Juvenile Justice Act. So that's why the three different kind of offenses have been given in the JJ Act 2015. So that's why this is the reason this case is very important, and I hope you will go through this case as well. The third important case we have is the Susila Agarwal versus the City of Delhi. This is a very important case regarding the anticipatory bail, as the CRPC has been introduced in the CLAT, so we have to look after this case as well. This case is basically the duration of the anticipatory bail. Basically सुशीला अग्रवाल के पहले दो तीन केसेस हुए थे जिसमें anticipatory bail के जो scope है that has been carved down, and it was said when the accused was summoned or when the trial begins, the duration of the anticipatory bail ends. Okay, and the accused has to, or the person who got the anticipatory bail, that person has to approach the has to approach for the regular bail. So that's why this particular question came into the 4K. What is the actual duration of the anticipatory bail? And in this case the Supreme Court said there is no limited or fixed period, and the Supreme Court reiterated the judgment of Gurubaksh Singh Sibia judgment, and that was a very landmark judgment related to the bail, anticipatory bail, and that was the case of 1980. And after that in 1996, and there is one case like Salahuddin Abdul Samad Sheikh versus State of Maharashtra. In that case, the jurisprudence of the anticipatory bail, or the duration of the anticipatory bail, certainly changed, and the Supreme Court started telling through that case that the anticipatory bail ke duration basically ends when the trial starts or the accused was summoned. So as a result, the scope of the Article 438 was getting reduced day by day. But that's why Susila Agarwal came into picture in 2020, and he talked about, no, it's not that. Gurubaksh Singh Sibia judgment, which was there earlier, that judgment has to be followed, and that is the main judgment that we have to think while talking about the period of any anticipatory bail. Okay, so court can impose any restrictions. As you know, there are certain restrictions that you cannot flee, or you cannot hamper in the investigation process. All those restrictions are there that and court can impose any other restrictions as well while granting the anticipatory bail. And the duration of the anticipatory bail may continue till the end of the trial. So this case is also very important regarding the anticipatory bail, and I want all of you to go through this case.
This is the first part of the January recent judgments of 2020, and in the second part we're going to talk about the another two important judgments and the 4 or 5 not so important judgments. We're going to see the crux of what are the important things that we need to remember regarding our exam, and also we're going to talk about some of the important essay topics. So please do give it a watch regarding the second important part of the January recent judgments. And also, if you haven't downloaded the Jurisage Academy app, can you do download it and participate in the All India CLAT PG Open Mock Competition. Okay, so you can test your preparation level. There are a lot of other students, they are participating. So, and side by side you are going to get the All India rank and all those stuff. And it's totally competition based. The new pattern, according to that, the CLAT PG pattern, you are going to get that. Okay, so that you are going to get. And also please read all the judgments, whatever possible, please read it. There is no way out rather than reading the judgments. Okay, so take the help from your teachers, take the help from families, take the help from other coaching institute, take the help from Jurisage if you want to. There is if it's on you, if you want to take the help, just take the help, because without taking the help you can't read all the judgments all by your own. Now the days are numbered, right? So please take the help, and thank you all of you, and next part this video will be uploaded soon. Thank you.